Have you ever said something to your family that you immediately regretted, wishing you could take it back? Or perhaps you've shared a part of yourself, whether it's a regret, a fear, or a financial struggle, that shifted the balance of your relationships in a way you never intended. You're not alone. As we age, there are things we sometimes feel compelled to share with our family, thinking it will bring relief or understanding. But in reality, it could be doing more harm than good. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 things you should keep secret from your family if you want to preserve your relationships, protect your dignity, and maintain emotional peace as you get older. By the end of this video, you'll understand why certain personal matters should remain private and how keeping certain things to yourself can help you maintain healthier, stronger connections with your loved ones. If you've ever found yourself feeling misunderstood or overwhelmed by the burden of your emotions, this video is for you. Stay tuned to learn why being selective about what you share can protect you from unintentional guilt, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. You won't want to miss the valuable insights on how to navigate family dynamics while keeping your peace intact. Let's dive in. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Deep regrets. Regret is a powerful and deeply human emotion that we all inevitably face at some point in our lives. It's a feeling that can stem from a range of experiences, from choices that didn't work out the way we hoped, to opportunities we didn't seize, to relationships that ended in ways we never expected. These feelings of regret can weigh us down, leaving us questioning what could have been and wondering if we could have done things differently. It's completely normal to reflect on these moments, but what can become truly painful is when these regrets consume us and start to color the way we interact with the people we love most. When we are constantly sharing our regrets with family members, it's easy for those moments of reflection to transform into a heavy, almost suffocating atmosphere. Over time, instead of fostering an environment of warmth and support, our home becomes filled with unspoken sadness, an emotional fog that is hard to shake off. The truth is, the more we talk about what we regret, the more likely our family members will begin to feel responsible for our emotional well-being. It's as though we're subtly placing the weight of our happiness on their shoulders, asking them to fix what's broken inside us. This, in turn, can lead to unnecessary guilt and frustration, not just for ourselves, but for the very people we care about. Imagine how your loved ones feel, hearing about the same regrets over and over again. They begin to feel that they somehow should have been able to prevent these regrets from happening. Maybe they start blaming themselves, even though it has nothing to do with them. It's a terrible place for anyone to be, watching someone they care about in pain and not knowing how to make it better, feeling guilty for something beyond their control. Regret, when constantly expressed, creates an emotional cycle that makes it harder for everyone involved to move forward. But here's the thing, life is full of lessons, and while regret can be painful, it also brings invaluable wisdom. If we allow ourselves to reflect on the past, we can uncover the lessons that these experiences have taught us. Instead of letting the regret hold us back, we can use it as a tool for personal growth and transformation. Each misstep, each loss, and each mistake holds a lesson that can propel us into a future where we are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. What if, instead of focusing on the things we wish we could undo, we turned our attention to the lessons we've learned? What if we allowed ourselves to acknowledge our regrets without letting them define us? There is so much power in realizing that while we can't change the past, we can shape our future. By shifting our focus from regret to growth, we open ourselves up to healing and new possibilities. The burden of guilt and sadness can slowly lift, replaced by a sense of clarity and purpose that comes from understanding the reasons behind our past choices. And here's where the magic happens. When we share our growth with our family instead of our regrets, we create an atmosphere of hope and possibility. We show them that we are moving forward, that we are not stuck in the past, and that we are open to embracing what comes next. This not only brings peace to our hearts, but to the hearts of those we love. They'll begin to see us as individuals who have learned from their mistakes, rather than as people weighed down by what could have been. In the end, it's important to remember that regret doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be the beginning of something better, something more meaningful. Let go of the guilt, release the emotional burden, and instead focus on the lessons that have made you who you are today. With this shift, you will find not only peace but a renewed sense of joy, purpose, and connection with those around you. Your family will see you not as someone trapped by the past, but as someone bravely walking toward a brighter future. 2. Financial struggles or success. Financial matters are more than just numbers and spreadsheets. They are intertwined with our emotions, our sense of security, and our sense of self. Whether you find yourself in the throes of financial struggle or basking in the glow of financial success, money has the power to stir up intense emotions and can often cause unforeseen complications in relationships. Money, after all, is not just a means to an end. It can become a symbol of power, control, or even worth. When it's scarce, it leaves you feeling vulnerable, overwhelmed, and sometimes even ashamed, as if you're letting down those you care about. On the flip side, when you experience financial success, you might feel that the very thing that should bring joy, security, freedom, and opportunity can often become a source of discomfort, tension, and confusion. When you're struggling financially, it's natural to feel a sense of pride in wanting to do everything on your own, to push through hardship without asking for help. But the reality is, sometimes, it's impossible to do it alone. And so, when your family sees your struggles, they often feel a deep sense of responsibility to help. At first, this help may seem like a lifeline, but over time, it can begin to feel like a weight, a reminder of your inability to provide as you once did. There's the silent burden of gratitude and guilt, grateful for the assistance but ashamed that you've had to rely on others. Worse, you may feel like you owe them something in return, creating an invisible debt that looms over you. It's like you're caught in a cycle of pride and dependence that no one ever talks about, but it eats away at your confidence and sense of dignity. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Conversely, when you're fortunate enough to have financial success, the joy of achieving your goals can sometimes be tainted by the expectations of others. Success, while undeniably a blessing, can bring with it a burden of responsibility, a sense that others expect you to share in your good fortune. Family members, even those you love dearly, can start to see your success not as a moment to celebrate with you but as an opportunity to ask for a piece of it. They may not outright say it, but you can feel it in their words, in their gestures, and in the little comments they make about what they deserve because of their relationship with you. It's a delicate balance because, in these moments, you might feel compelled to give, wanting to keep the peace, keep the love alive, and show them that their support through your struggles means the world to you. But it's easy for the lines to blur, where the connection between you becomes less about love and care and more about financial transactions. That sense of entitlement, even if unspoken, can shift the entire relationship, turning it into something dependent on your wealth instead of rooted in genuine emotional connection. What's heartbreaking is that this dynamic can take hold even without you realizing it. A seemingly innocent gesture, buying a gift, helping out with bills, or sharing in your success, can inadvertently make others feel like they are entitled to more, even if that wasn't your intention. This shift from genuine care to financial dependency can erode the love you share and create subtle feelings of resentment and expectation that may never have existed before. What was once an exchange of kindness becomes a silent, unspoken agreement where people start to think, if they can help, they should. And before you know it, the very essence of your relationship changes. And that's where the danger lies. Sharing too much, and oversharing can invite these unwanted complications. The more you divulge, the more others may think they are entitled to not just your money, but your time, your resources, and your emotional energy. It can drain you in ways you never expected, leaving you exhausted, overwhelmed, and sometimes even angry. You never set out to put your family in a position where they feel they are owed something, but by oversharing your financial situation, you have unintentionally created a space where dependence and expectation thrive. In turn, the relationships that were once built on love, support, and respect can morph into something far less healthy. Financial codependency. The most important thing, I believe, is the need for boundaries. Instead of spilling every detail of your financial ups and downs, it's far more beneficial to offer wisdom and guidance. Share your lessons learned, your insights, and your experiences about managing money, what you've discovered about budgeting, about saving, and about what matters when it comes to finances. These lessons can be invaluable, not only because they provide the tools others might need to avoid the same struggles you faced, but also because they keep the focus on self-sufficiency rather than dependency. True generosity isn't about giving away what you've worked so hard for. It's about teaching others how to stand on their own and how to navigate their financial paths with confidence and wisdom. In the end, it's about maintaining the emotional integrity of your relationships. Money should never replace love, and love should never be contingent upon financial support. Our relationships are far too precious to let them be overshadowed by what's in our bank accounts. Instead, let the connection between you be grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and emotional care. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it's the genuine connections that last, not the money. 3. Negative opinions about family members. It's incredibly tempting, isn't it? The moment when frustration overwhelms us, and all we want to do is unload on someone, especially a family member. We've all been there, standing in the kitchen or sitting on the couch, feeling that deep, gnawing frustration with a loved one, whether it's a sibling who never helps around the house, a parent who doesn't understand us, or a cousin who constantly gets under our skin. In those moments, we might feel the overwhelming urge to speak our minds, to vent without holding back. It feels almost cathartic, like we're finally releasing years of bottled-up emotions. But what happens when those words are said? The truth is, once negative opinions slip from our lips, they can never truly be taken back. It doesn't matter how quickly we try to retract or apologize. The damage has already been done, and the consequences can ripple through the family, leaving scars that may last far longer than we ever intended. The emotional weight of those unfiltered comments can create rifts so deep, so painful, that they feel impossible to heal. Once strong relationships can become strained, even broken, and it can feel as though a door has been slammed shut, one that's incredibly hard to reopen. The impact goes beyond just the person you're venting about. Often, when negative opinions are shared, especially in a heated moment, others may overhear or become involved, even when they weren't part of the original conflict. The words can snowball, creating misunderstandings and dividing families that once felt unbreakable. What might have been a private disagreement between two people suddenly becomes a shared, misinterpreted narrative that spreads like wildfire. Everyone starts picking sides, and before you know it, your frustration has turned into a full-blown family feud. What's even more heartbreaking is the emotional toll it takes on all parties involved. Resentment builds, feelings are hurt, and trust begins to erode. Instead of seeing the person we love, we begin to see them through a lens clouded by anger and bitterness. Those words that were meant to release our pain can often lead to more pain, deepening the wounds and making it harder to find common ground again. The sense of division grows, and before long, what was once a small issue can feel like an insurmountable obstacle, something that can never be fully repaired. Family, in its purest form, is supposed to be our haven. It's where we should feel loved, understood, and supported, even when the world outside is falling apart. But negative opinions, once spoken, create a toxic atmosphere that clouds that sanctuary. It's a poison that spreads quickly, one that can distort our perception of each other and weaken the bonds we've spent years building. And the hardest part? It's incredibly difficult to undo the harm once it's been done. It might take months, even years, of a careful, intentional effort to rebuild trust and restore the relationship, but that deep-seated bitterness often lingers, leaving behind a shadow that never fully disappears. As someone who has seen the power of words both heal and hurt, I believe it's essential to take a step back before speaking in frustration. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let emotions drive our words, but those words are like seeds. They grow into something we may not have intended, something we can't always control. I've learned that even when it feels like a release, those unfiltered opinions may come back to haunt us in ways we can't predict. We may think we're simply venting, but in reality, we're setting the stage for something far more damaging. Protecting family relationships requires more than just love. It requires patience, understanding, and, sometimes, a great deal of restraint. When emotions are high, it's easy to lash out. But as painful as it may be to hold back, it's far better than saying something we'll regret. Choosing not to voice every frustration, and taking the time to calm down before speaking, can save us from so much unnecessary heartache. It's not about suppressing feelings, it's about finding healthier ways to express them, to address the issue without letting it define our relationship. Ultimately, family is everything. Those bonds are fragile, and once they're broken, they don't always heal the way we want them to. So, before letting negative opinions escape, it's worth taking a deep breath and remembering just how precious those relationships are. In the end, it's not the words we regret saying, but the words we didn't say, the moments we chose peace, understanding, and love over temporary frustration. That's what keeps families strong, even through the hardest of times. 4. Health problems or ailments. Constantly discussing your health struggles can have a much deeper and more lasting effect on your family than you might first realize. When health becomes a recurring topic of conversation, it can shift the way your loved ones see you. Not just in the moment, but in the long term. You may find that instead of being recognized as the strong, vibrant, and wise individual you've always been, you start to be defined by your ailments, frailties, and limitations. At first, it may seem like a natural response. After all, you're just sharing what's going on in your life. But over time, these constant mentions of illness or discomfort can become all-consuming in the eyes of others. Imagine the emotional impact this shift has. Your family members, who once saw you as a source of guidance and strength, might begin to feel sorry for you. They might start viewing you with pity, or worse, as someone who needs constant help and care. This could lead to them interacting with you differently, perhaps in ways that are overly cautious, worried, or even distant. What was once a relationship built on love, support, and shared experiences can slowly morph into one where their primary focus becomes your well-being, and not in the empowering, supportive way you may have hoped. They may start treating you more like a patient than a family member, unintentionally stripping away the essence of who you are. Furthermore, this change in dynamic doesn't just affect you, it can weigh heavily on your loved ones as well. What might have been lighthearted, spontaneous conversations can now feel burdened with concern and worry. They start to feel an emotional strain, unable to fully enjoy time spent with you without the constant reminder of your health struggles hanging over them. They may feel a deep sense of helplessness, unsure of how to best support you, and the emotional toll this takes on them can't be overstated. Instead of engaging in joyous conversations or creating new memories together, much of the focus may unintentionally shift to managing your health and ensuring you're okay. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. This can lead to unnecessary emotional burdens on both sides. You might feel like a source of worry or stress for your family, which could create feelings of guilt or isolation. And they, on the other hand, might begin to carry a weight of their own. The worry of your health, the concern for your future, and the ever-present fear of what might come next. It's not easy to navigate these changes, and while it's natural to want to talk about your struggles, it's important to remember how this may affect your relationships in the long run. The delicate balance here is in finding ways to express your needs and struggles without letting them define your entire existence. It's about being able to share what you're going through, while still reminding yourself and your family that you are more than just your health. The strength and wisdom you bring to the table, your experiences, your love, and your life, they are all parts of who you are and what you've always contributed to your family. Don't let the weight of your illness overshadow the beautiful, complex person who is still very much a part of their lives. Relationships thrive on emotional connection and support, but they also thrive on the shared joy, laughter, and love that you've always offered. Don't let that be lost in the focus on health struggles. 5. Fears about the future. Fears about the future can be deeply unsettling, and they often become more pronounced as we age. We naturally worry about things like health, independence, the possibility of loneliness, and the inevitable uncertainties that come with getting older. These fears are completely understandable. After all, the future is unknown, and it's only human to feel anxious about what lies ahead. But it's important to remember that constantly voicing these fears, especially to your loved ones, can create an emotional burden that they may not be prepared for, and it can amplify their concerns in a counterproductive way. When you share your anxieties about aging, the possibility of being alone, or the what-ifs of the future, it's easy to unintentionally transfer your emotional weight onto those around you. Family members, especially children, spouses, or close friends, might start to feel a deep sense of helplessness as if they can't do enough to help or protect you from the uncertainties you face. This feeling of helplessness can chip away at their sense of security, creating a ripple effect of worry that doesn't help anyone. Rather than feeling empowered to support you, they may start to feel overwhelmed by the idea that your happiness and well-being depend entirely on them. Over time, if these fears are voiced repeatedly, they can begin to shift how your loved ones see you. Instead of viewing you as a strong, wise person who has weathered life's storms and overcome challenges, they may begin to see you as fragile or in need of constant emotional support. While it's true that everyone needs reassurance and support from time to time, if this becomes a regular pattern, it can inadvertently cast doubt on your ability to cope with life's challenges. It's heartbreaking to think that the very people who care most about you might start feeling as though they are walking on eggshells, unsure of how to help or how to lighten your emotional load. We all have moments when we need to express vulnerability, and sharing our fears is a normal part of being human. But it's essential to balance this with resilience, to show our families that we are still capable of handling life's trials with grace and strength. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect or burying your emotions, but it does mean finding a way to maintain a sense of inner strength that your family can rely on. You are a role model for your loved ones, and how you approach challenges will influence how they face their own. If they see you face fear with resilience, if they witness you navigating the future with a sense of calm and determination, they will be better equipped to do the same when their times of uncertainty arrive. Your family wants to see you thrive, not just survive, and showing them that you are capable of embracing life's unknowns, even with all its challenges, can be incredibly empowering for everyone involved. When you maintain your resilience, you reassure them that, even as you age and face the natural concerns that come with it, you are still the same person they've always loved and admired. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders alone, but remember that by finding strength and confidence in the face of your fears, you are gifting your family peace of mind, allowing them to enjoy their time with you without the burden of constant worry. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. We've delved into the powerful impact that sharing our fears and anxieties can have on those we love, and how important it is to strike a balance between vulnerability and resilience. It's all about showing our families that we can navigate life's challenges with strength and giving them the peace of mind to enjoy their time with us without the weight of constant worry. So, what have you learned so far? I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, share one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into your own life. What small shift will you make to help foster resilience in yourself and your relationships? If you liked this video, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and supporting each other on this journey. Thank you for watching.